Let's get deep with that in peace.
A Sissy production. Okay, guys, how's it going today? How are you, Tis?
So I do feel great, but I'm also getting sick.
Yeah,
It's like bittersweet.
Yeah, you seem like you're getting sick.
Yeah, man.
I've actually have dodged that bullet because the last 2 weeks, True has been so sick, like so sick. But I made sure that I cleaned the house. I made sure that I was spraying like all these different things, that I was changing the sheets because I'm like I took an emergency C. Is that how you call it, emergency C?
Sure.
Those little package with vitamin.
No, I take that. I just don't know the name.
Oh, that I took that flying from California the week before because I'm like, and I knew it, and I'm glad that my intuition, spoke to me, and that I did, because I have not been sick. I'm feeling great, and I hope that this doesn't get me sick. So whatever it is, block it.
Yes,
Rebuke. Exactly. So we have a lot of awesome things that have happened to us in the last couple of weeks. We want to talk about the wonders of taking a solo trip. I just took my first solo trip 3 weeks ago, and Priscilla just came from hers. And so we want to dive into a little bit of what was that discovery, like what was that self-discovery for us, what we went through, and really encourage, hopefully by the end of this podcast, we encourage those to, if you can, financially take a solo trip. I would recommend for you to do so. And it doesn't have to be something lavish. Like a solo trip, could you be going up to Pennsylvania for a 3-day weekend in an Airbnb? Like, it doesn't have to be expensive. I think the point of it is for you to be with yourself and really feel your feelings, right? Like, and really be present with yourself and with the world around you, right? So how was yours?
Experience. Mine was very incredible.
Well, what made you want to go to Spain?
I don't know. It's like something just kept poking Spain.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying, I want to go to Spain. I don't know, I just want to go to Spain for my birthday. I'm like, okay, then go to Spain.
I can't say that I saw it in a movie, that someone recommended Spain. I just,
Have you ever been wanting to go to Spain before? Or this was a this year thing?
There was a moment last year where I was looking at what countries are safe for a lesbian female to travel. I remember Germany was one of them. There was a couple on the list, and then Spain, they were like, oh, it's super, when I read the information was like, it's super rainbow friendly. It was one of the first countries to, allow gay marriages to take place and stuff. And I think that maybe has always just nudged, like somewhere where I could go alone and feel safe, because I feel, I don't know, like as me being a lesbian female, I definitely feel cozier traveling to places that, aren't as discriminated on that.
But I know that this was definitely my first solo trip, but I know you have traveled before by yourself. You've been to Canada, you've been to, California, you went to by yourself. What made this trip different than those?
What made this trip different is it was incredible to see such a diverse group of people. I can't say it's as diverse as what I've experienced in the United States, because we are, especially living like
in New York City. Yeah.
New York City's a melting pot. But it was really dope to see a country where there is a sense of diversity, and to see like someone that maybe came from an Asian descent or a Black descent, or like just these different multifaceted races, and they're all speaking Spanish.
Oh, that's cool.
Where I'm so used to, okay, I see all these different cultures and backgrounds, but we
speak English.
We speak English. It was so cool to just, like, when I've traveled to many places, but usually, okay, I go to DR, the main language is Spanish. No, but this is just a melting pot of people that
and to see like different people speaking your own language, that's pretty cool.
It was really cool. It was super cool. I was speaking Spanish. En español mío ahora está bien fino. They all thought I was Brazilian though.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
They were like, "Oh wow, and you're Spanish. Your accent is very different." We thought Brazilian.
Oh wow. Very.
Very
Shout out to
interesting.
Brazil. Maybe that's the next place you need to go to. You know.
Facts.
For me, this was I can't think about doing that. I've done it, and I've traveled a lot too, but I've always had a companion. And I was going on a work trip to California 2 weeks ago, and since the company was already going to pay for the flight there, I just went a few days before I had to show up to work, and I decided to go to Santa Barbara. So the whole thing, like I was like, okay, I was nervous, like, and I know myself, like I even pretend to myself that I'm not. I'm like, oh, I got it. It's gonna be fine. But I remember I booked a trip 3 days before I booked the hotel. I booked the trip. Like this was one of those trips that was very spontaneous. I didn't have an itinerary. I really just wanted to go with the flow. My intention for this trip was like, how would it feel like if you just allowed life to happen, right?
Yeah.
And just getting in the plane and the movies first of all, the movies that I watched If, which that movie, if you all can just go watch it, it was phenomenal because I felt that the kind of therapy that I'm doing right now with internal family systems and like learning your parts and stuff, and like and like managing your parts and like acknowledging those parts that we think are bad, it was really interesting to see that movie and like see it visually, right? Like I'm experiencing it with Jen is our coach. I experience it with her every Friday when we have a session, but to see it done so creatively in a movie, I was bawling. The person next to me probably thought I was crazy because I was just like on the plane, I was crying my eyes off because I was like, oh my God, our parts just want to be seen. They just
gave yourself a therapy session.
I did. I hold it.
Yourself a self-therapy.
30 or 50,000 above air. I was just like crying my eyes off. And then when I was done with that, I was scrolling to see. Actually, no, it wasn't. If was second. The first one was Bad Boys. And for me, like everybody has, I think it's because though I can tell with Bad Boys that you receive what you're projecting, right? What you're read in the sense like, and everyone else could have a different experience of what Bad Boys was for them, right? For me, it was very healing too. Like, and I know exactly because it's an action movie. It's Will Smith with this guy being cops and solving a case. But I think the moment that really got me, spoiler alert, I'm sorry. I know Priscilla hates doing this. It's just 1 second. When if you've seen Bad Boys, you know this already. So I mean, if you went and see number 4 without seeing 1, 2, and 3, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. So the detective captain, whatever of them, right? Like you know how Will Smith was very close to him, right? I can't remember his name. The white guy that was like their boss in all 3 movies. He dies in the 3rd movie, right? And to see like Will Smith having like a panic attack in the middle of an important situation where he had to react, right? And it's crazy how the world will almost like shake us in the moments where we need to like, Will Smith has it always all together, right? The cars, how he dresses, how he is. He's always shown himself to be someone who always has it together, who's in command, who, he's swaggy, right? But the other one, what's the guy? The other guy, Martin. He's always a hot mess, right? He's always like emotional, and he's always like. So I found it interesting that in this movie, the one that was, like a hot mess was Will, right? Like
Martin was more.
Yeah, he was more.
What was the therapy?
When he goes and has like a flashback, and the captain tells him it wasn't your fault. And for me, like that hit me hard because I'm like, whoa, yeah, like it wasn't your fault. Me being a kid and thinking like, was it my fault that, my mom experienced XYZ, or was it my fault that I didn't get the love or the attention that I needed? It wasn't my fault. It wasn't anything that I didn't do. It's just what happened. It's just the cards that I was dealt.
I'm just like wowed because she hasn't even gotten off the plane yet. And her Cali experience. So, okay, so if you were, so to make sure we don't get off track here. So you experience your first solo trip, and if there is one big takeaway that you can take from traveling alone, what do you think you really gained from the experience?
But I think, like, okay, so I'm gonna answer that. But I wanted to just, I'm a storyteller, guys. I always tell you guys this. I'm a storyteller. So obviously, I got off the plane. The next stop was me finding the car rental. That was a little bit of a headache, but we got it. We got the car. We sat in the car and we drove 2.5 hours to Santa Barbara because that's where I went. And I was, even at night, in the night, Santa Barbara seemed pretty safe. I felt safe. But when you're alone, you're like, you look to the side, but I didn't feel scared. Like, I feel, and I know that my sister Diana thinks differently of this opinion that I'm about to have, but I truly believe you attract what the state your mind is, right? I'm not saying to go out there and not be aware of your surroundings. No, I'm not saying that, but I feel that the energy I was in, I was confident that nothing was gonna happen. And I know that it sounds like, whoa, Edlyn, that's a little delulu there, but that's the intention I brought in, and that's how I wanted this weekend to feel. And I felt that, like, I allowed myself to really, like, be a kid. Like, I really allowed myself to have fun with myself. Like, I took long showers, intentional showers. I took naps when I was tired, and I was like, you know what? Like, I know that I should be out there exploring, but I want to take a nap right now. And even that was a little difficult because I'm trying to take a nap. I'm like, wait, maybe I should be doing something else, but no.
Likewise, yeah.
So
I'm on vacation. What am I doing napping? Get out of your bed.
but I tried. I had amazing, like, food. Even the food, I was intentional of, like, I don't want to eat bad. Like, I want to eat nutritious food that fulfills me, and even that was tasty. And riding the bike around town, and that would get me a little nervous, like being in the middle of the street with all the cars, and I'm like, oh, but I did it. And when I let myself really, like, be free, I was like, oh, this is fun. And the wind, feeling the wind in the in my face, and just my hair just flowing, I felt like a goddess. And I loved that, like, not only did I feel that, but the world was feeling it, because I had people telling me, wow, you have beautiful hair. I had girls that stopped next to me, 3 girls that looked at me like, you're really pretty. And I'm like, thank you so much. You're pretty too. Like, I was, like, high on life. Like, I went to the beach. I was just, like, enamored with, like, the view, and just, like, wow, like, so grateful for being there. Like, I think we just forget that, like, we just need to live. Like, we just need to live life, and we just get so caught up on, like, oh my God, the bills. Oh my God, this bitch over here who I can't stand was me. Like, it's what we give energy to, and I'm really trying to work on what I'm giving my energy to. And I think that was the theme of my solo trip. What am I giving my energy to?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I can say my experience was similar in its own ways, in the sense of, like, I remember walking, because I wanted to stay somewhere close to Barcelona, because if you're gonna go to Spain, you want to visit all
one
the
of the
cool
main
spots.
cities. Yeah, one of the main towns there.
But I also like to travel and experience the local, like, what the essence of that town. So I decided to stay in a town called Terrassa, that's like 30-40 minutes from Barcelona. And it's a neighborhood that, it's not like Barcelona. Barcelona at nighttime, I felt safe walking there. It's kind of like the city. It's like, I don't want to say it's like New York City, because every city is unique, but it's busy in its own ways. It's busy like the city, and there's always people. But where I stayed at, you felt it. Like, it was local. At nighttime, things definitely started to die down, and I'm walking the train station from my hotel was like a 25-30 minute walk. And I'm sitting here, I go to order the Uber on the first day, and it just wasn't picking up a driver. And I'm like, okay, I guess you want me to do this walk. And it's like 10:30 at night, and I'm sitting there in my mind, like, I'm in a country at like 10-11 o'clock at night, walking like a 30-minute walk back to my hotel. Holy shit. But then it's like, no, let yourself go. Like it sounds scary, but then it's like, wait, this is honestly there was a moment where I was like, if this is how the cards end for me, then this is just how the cards end for me. Embrace that, soak that in. You're in another country right now, just walking at night. Like, this is fucking awesome.
We live so scared. Oh my God.
There was even a moment where it was 1 a.m. I wanted to check out the lesbian scene, so I went out to like a lesbian bar in Barcelona, and I ended up taking the train home, and I missed my stop, so it was like an extra hour and a half walk, and I was in the middle of nowhere. Like, there was no Ubers that were,
But was there like a city around? Like, was there people?
It just looked like, it looked like maybe like a suburban area.
Okay.
For us.
Okay.
Darker. So I'm walking, and then you see this dog. Ruff, ruff, ruff. I'm like, fuck.
This is how it is. This is how it is.
So I see myself I feel it. I feel myself, oh my God, I'm panicking. I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, bitch, you got yourself. And remember, it's that thing again. If this is how the cards end for you, this is how the cards end. But we're going to breathe. We're going to walk closer to civilization until we can order our Uber. That's what I did, and I got there safe. But to not go on a tantrum here, I think what's incredible about exploring and going on solo trips is it takes you out of your, and I suck at words with R's, so I know I'm going to tongue twist here. It takes you out of your familiarity. Can you say that?
Familiarity. Yeah.
Yes, it takes you out of your
comfort zone.
Your comfort zone. So I'm watching myself wanting to do the same habits that I have here out there. So one was recognizing, oh my God, some of these habits need to change.
So like what? Like what's one?
Let's see.
The eating, I think you said something. Was it the eating? You mentioned something with that.
The two biggest ones for me is moments of when my body, like, so the eating for sure, and the second one, the big one for me was when my body just doesn't know how to be calm. Like, I wanted to just rest. My body was telling me, like, it's okay, I want to just rest, but I wasn't. I saw myself, okay, put my music in the background, kind of like pasting, oh my God, this is what I do at home. Like, I almost like saw the mirror of my anxiety. And then I see where that's when the food comes in. Okay, so I am anxious, so I'm just gonna comfort myself through the food. I didn't want to do that. So I noticed, wow, even thousands of miles away, you still want to behave the way that you do at home. But secondly, like, last week, I'm in a man mood. This week, I'm in Spain. Like, you see the magic of life? Like, feelings, emotions change like the wind. Constantly. Like, one moment you could be, oh my God, this sucks. The next, look at the magic in this. I'm in a whole nother fucking country right now, just recognizing the beauty of life. Like, it reminded me, just make every day different. You live practically, 20 minutes from New York City. Girl, if you want to go be adventurous, you could do that at your home. Like, the same things you're doing in Spain, you could find the adventure for yourself every day at your own home. But the comfort, the similarities, all of that just becomes, like
part of our routine, part of like just who we are. And I think one of the other things, so it was like, what do I want to give my energy to? And the second thing was, I think doing the solo trip really built confidence in me. Like, I can do anything. Like, I really can do anything. And I know it sounds like, you just want to, no, but it's a big deal. Like, when you're not used to doing something like that, like, think about, maybe for you, the audience, you've done solo trips, so you can't really resonate to that. But think about something that for you is hard to do, like going to a coffee shop and sitting alone. That's hard for some people. If it's not part of your routine. Exactly. Yeah. It's hard for you, right? Like, or going to the movies alone. I don't know. Like, think really, like, what I want you to take from this episode is, like, think about something that you would maybe want to do, but would never do it because it would just, like, it's too outside of, like, your comfort zone, right? Like, it's too outside of you. What I see it as, you can't see the other side of it. Yeah, for me, like, I've had, and there's some things on my life right now that I'm really excited to share, but I want to wait for the other side to share those things. But all I can say is, like, take the leap of faith. Do it, whatever it is. Like, take the leap of faith, because the universe, if you truly believe in yourself, like, I understand. Wow, it just hit me. Like, when you do things for you, things will happen for you. Like, things will happen. Like, the more you do for you, the more things will happen for you. Like, does that make sense?
I get it, yes. Yeah. I think right now where my mind is just taking me, where I resonate with this, is when you allow yourself to peak on the other side. Like, for my biggest output was just how I go back to just how familiar every day can feel, that it almost made me forget about, I don't know if it's the magic in life, the beauty of life. And when you peak on the other side, like for instance, going on a trip, taking yourself on a solo trip, and when you allow yourself to experience something so different, you're able to just see, like, maybe the unknown isn't so fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, you doing, before you got on that plane and went to Cali and experienced it, may have felt scary, but then you do it and it's like, oh, it's, if you go and sit in that coffee shop, oh my God, by yourself, maybe you thought it was scary, but then you do it. Like, I go and take myself out on movie dates. Some people may look at that and, oh my God, I can never. But I get it. I'm on the other side of that. When you see that, or I guess skydiving or anything crazy, like, when I think for me to be really vulnerable, I'm seeing it from the biggest takeaways, even in jobs right now, in my job, in recognizing that doors are opening right now for me because I am allowing myself to see the other side, and I'm not holding on or forcing a story. And in my relationships, like, I'm not holding on. I'm okay now, just letting go and being so open and embracing what is on the other side. Like, why don't we deserve this life of peace, this life of harmony, this life of synchronicity? Like, no, I am worthy of that.
Yeah, for me, it's I say, and especially this, like, really, a lot of people would think, no, I think you're vulnerable. You, like, I wouldn't be able to talk in a podcast, but I'm actually working on being emotionally vulnerable with my partner. I am a runner. Like, when emotions get too intense, I'm like, oh, I want to run, right? And like, me really facing myself in California, really facing my deepest, darkest, like, demons, and accepting them and having grace for myself and being like, listen, you're not perfect, and it's not about being perfect. Broken is beautiful. Like, life is beautiful. And like, I think that confidence that I've built, and it's something that I will have to continue to work on and continue to build, because I think you can easily, in a world like we live, you can easily lose it. And I really came back with the intention that, like, with my relationships, all of my relationships, I want to be vulnerable. Because that's what I want to attract. I want to attract spaces where I feel safe, and I want people to feel safe with me. But if I can't really be vulnerable and really show my cards, then how am I expecting other people to do the same, right? And people are going to feel that. Whether they don't say it or not, people feel the energy, the vibration of, like, something's not adding here.
I love how you for a vulnerable moment for me, because I resonate to you. Yeah, we may be behind this podcast, but being vulnerable, there's that's still
it's a different.
And I think about when I told you how Spain has been a huge reflection for me, to see that this was one of the most insecure trips that I've ever taken. Like, even me, like, I'm usually bubbly, outgoing, like, I can be pretty personable with people, and my first, like, day or two at Spain, I was not. And I felt like, oh,
your guards were like,
my walls were just so up. And I see how, yeah, people weren't naturally speaking to me. It was a vacation where I felt just trapped in my own. And as the third, fourth day is, I see now the reception. Oh, hi, good morning, buenas. Like, oh my God, now I'm having conversations with, the strangers on the street and stuff. But I'm also opening my energy to that. The first day or two, I was walls up. I'm not talking to anyone, like, I want to make sure no one here knows that I'm a tourist. steal my money or pickpocket me.
For me, it was a whole different story. From the moment I landed, like and you know, that's my personality too. I am very bubbly and all that. But it was just, for me, it was magical. Like from day one, I was like just getting all these compliments and just for me, it was reaffirming that like, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Like, believe that and allow that energy to just spread around so that people can, like, you know, as generators, because remember, you're a generator, right? If human design, whatever. So I'm a manifesting generator. Priscilla's a generator. And as generators, our energy spill. And so people feel from our energy. And I felt that. I was walking, like, riding my bike. Like, my head got so big when that girl was like, you are so beautiful, because I genuinely believed it. And I believed it because I believe I'm beautiful. Like, in that moment, I really believed, holy shit, I am beautiful. And it was just, I had such great conversations with people, with the people in the reception, with like, it was just so effing magical that
I'm gonna have a vulnerable moment to anyone that is listening to this that works with me, because I've gotten a couple co-workers to
shout out to the
you
workers.
guys. Shout out to you guys. Vulnerable moment, that's why we are able to have such a great connection and relationship at work.
Yeah.
Exactly what you just said. I felt you took me to when I go to work, I'm in my
you're in your element, bitch.
Divine aura, and I see how my team loves it. They're like, oh, your energy. And I see that, like, that's how we gravitate.
Yeah,
yes, like, it's contagious.
And we have to own it.
Yes.
And all of you out there, own your fucking energy. Own, like, that you have the power to just by being you. You don't have to be any, like, the stuff that has been happening to me in the last couple of weeks, I could have not designed it better. Because I'm just being me, and the people that I'm attracting and the things that are coming to me and the courage that I'm having to stand in my power is because I'm deciding, like, no, know your worth, bitch. Know what you want and go after it. And
know your worth and taxes.
Oh,
shout out to Trent Shelton in his last episode. He invited the VP from Peloton, and they were going through, like, they were having a great.
Which one, my girl Robin? Because I love Robin Arson, is it?
The last one I sent you.
Okay, I'm gonna
she's like the
listen
VP of Peloton. Yeah. But one of the things she said is know your worth and on taxes, and I love.
Yeah, that's Robin Arson. She says that when we're on the bike. I love you, Robin. She's like my. That's who I like aspire. Like, she's just such a
powerful conversation. You'll like it.
Yeah. Okay, my friends. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Please, if you like what you hear, rate us 5. that's an insider. Somebody give us a bad review, and we went from 5 to 4.6. It's fine. We know that things are gonna happen. We take constructive feedback.
Feedback is always appreciated, but it's stuck.
Well, you know what's crazy now that I think about that? It stung a little bit more too when you don't know why, right? And I think sometimes I have to also now be okay with, like, sometimes I'm not gonna know why, because we haven't launched our episode in Apple. We're only right now on Spotify and YouTube. And in Spotify, you can't see the reviews. Yeah. So we, unfortunately, like, if you guys are giving us feedback, which is awesome, we love it, keep doing it, we can't see it. So if you're gonna comment or stuff, comment on SissySissyInc in Instagram or in YouTube, because unfortunately in Spotify we can't see it. And we do want the show to be better. So any feedback is obviously always welcome.
We are working on the audio.
I know.
We're committing to that.
I know. Yeah, the audio for sure.
To wrap it up, for New Jersey, New York folks, our next workshop, October 25th, the Dream workshop in Harrison, New Jersey.
We have, for now, that's the main thing coming up. We have a couple of other projects coming, but we want to focus on the workshop happening at the Dream Boutique in Harrison, New Jersey on October 25th at 6:30 p.m. Yes. I think that's a Friday, right?
Yeah. Yes. And don't forget, if you prefer to watch us, check us out on our YouTube channel.
We're cooler when you see us in person.
And follow us on SissySissyInc.
All right, my dears. Thank you for joining us again for this wonderful episode, and we'll see you next time.
Peace. 29 minutes.
Yeah, because I like that I can see the time, because I'm like, okay, it's getting to 30. Let's wrap it up.
I can't see those numbers.
Oh, yeah, my vision is, it's really good.